Okay, let's go.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a roadmap to financial freedom that says you can get there in as little as 3 to 7 years. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a strategy built on one core belief, that the old 40-year plan and even the newer 20-year plans are just way too slow.
So let's just jump right in with the main tension of this whole idea. The thinking here is that if your goal is to actually enjoy your life, waiting 20 years is almost as crazy as waiting 40. This really sets the stage for a much faster and, frankly, more intense approach.
All right, so first things first. To really get what this new roadmap is all about, we've got to look at the problem it's trying to solve. And that means we need to compare the typical ways people think about financial independence. And you can see it right here. The traditional path, that's your whole life. Then you've got the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, which is a huge step up. But saving 25 times what you spend in a year, that can still take a decade or two. This new model we're talking about completely redefines not just the timeline, shrinking it way down to 3 to 7 years, but it also changes the final destination itself.
Okay, so before we get into any of the how-tos or the numbers, the whole strategy starts with this really crucial two-part internal shift. And the source is super clear on this. Without this mental foundation, none of the actions you take are going to stick.
So, step one is all about getting your head in the game. You have to truly, fundamentally believe that this faster path is even possible. And step two? That's about finding that powerful, super personal reason that's going to drag you through the tough times. The first step gives you the map, but the second one, that gives you the fuel. And this is where it gets really interesting, right? The method he talks about is, he calls it brainwashing yourself. The idea is to just immerse yourself in so much content about people achieving financial freedom early that the old 40-year career path starts to sound like the crazy idea, not the other way around. It's all about completely shifting your reality. And that why of yours? It has to be crystal clear. It has to be deeply personal. Maybe you're running towards something amazing, like never ever missing one of your kids' soccer games. Or maybe you're running away from a total nightmare, a job you just can't imagine doing for another 40 years. This why is the emotional engine for the entire thing. Okay, get ready because this right here, this is the aha moment of the entire strategy. It completely changes the target you're aiming for. It takes it from something that feels huge and a million miles away to something that feels tangible and a whole lot closer.
So here's the secret sauce. The freedom number isn't some massive multi-million-dollar pile of cash for retirement. No. It's simply the amount of money you need coming in every single month to cover your absolute bare-bones survival needs. Housing, food, transport, basic insurance, that's it.
So, instead of staring at this mountain of a goal, like needing over $1 million in the bank, your actual tangible target might look something like this: a monthly income stream. $4,000 a month? I mean, that feels so much more doable in the short term than a 7-figure portfolio, right?
And this right here really shows the big shift in what the end goal even is. It's not about a permanent vacation on a beach, which, the source argues, actually makes a lot of driven people miserable. The real goal is freedom. It's the security to say no to work you hate, and yes to work that actually fires you up, even if it doesn't pay as much.
So how do you actually get there? Well, it all builds into this really smart two-part plan. And the key thing to remember is you don't do one then the other. You have to execute both parts at the exact same time.
Think of it like this. You're basically squeezing the problem from both sides. On the one hand, you're aggressively cutting down your monthly expenses to make that target number smaller and smaller. And at the exact same time, you're building the machine that's going to hit that now smaller target.
Now, shrinking your freedom number, this part is not glamorous. The source calls it the grind for a reason. It means being willing to get really uncomfortable for a while. He gives his own examples, like living for free while renovating a rental, driving a $5,000 car that barely works, and literally eating the same cheap chicken meal every single day for 3 years straight.
Okay, let's talk about the other side, building income. This is a really important distinction. You have to avoid the side hustles where you're just trading your time directly for dollars, like driving for Uber Eats. There's a cap on how much you can earn. Instead, the focus has to be on building skills that can scale up, skills with uncapped potential. And look, a lot of these skills, they might mean you're working for free or for very little right at the start while you're learning. But that's the investment. The payoff is that they have compounding returns.
Eventually, you can earn way more money for the same amount of work because people are paying you for your skill and the result you get them, not just for the hours you put in.
So all of this, it really boils down to one final unavoidable choice. This is the central trade-off that this entire philosophy is built on, and you have to be willing to make it. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the core trade-off. You are choosing to exchange a few years of pretty extreme discomfort for decades and decades of freedom later on. The only other option is a lifetime of, moderate comfort, but one where you're always stuck inside that 40-year trap. The guy behind this idea really hammers this point home. He's just a regular person, a high school dropout. The only thing that made him different, he says, is that he actually took action while everybody else was just stuck learning more and more. So the real question this whole strategy leaves us with isn't what you know. It's about what you're going to do.